You're literally feeling the energy of the person that you're close to now. That energy dynamic that we literally passing.
Ever since that happened, I have been in self-development. I've been in psychology. I wanted to be, have that Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality, be the best version of myself, because it's no longer about me.
Most people are living with some level of anxiety or depression, and they want to be happy. The goal for everybody that I've ever met is just to be happy, but we don't necessarily know what defines that.
Okay, so talk about why we started, why we're starting this.
Yeah. Why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? What intrigued you about doing a podcast?
I mean, I feel like all of this started with our one-on-ones, and it never making it past the parking lot. And I feel like that they got so deep that we were just ready to share it to people, but we didn't really know how to do it. So they were honest and useful, spiritual, practical. People can ask for the real playbook and not the highlight reel. That's mostly why. What about you?
Sharing the behind the scenes stuff is important. I think for everybody to see, what's helped us be successful at Jarrett and our careers, but also all the stuff that we didn't know what the heck we were doing. Yeah. We had to figure it out. We had to fail, and sharing those failures with everybody and showing them how we, were able to learn from them. To me, that sounds pretty cool to share with people.
What's one thing that someone can take away from this podcast today and start implementing into their life to make themselves better?
That everybody makes mistakes, and every day is a learning opportunity. To celebrate, failures as an opportunity to grow. Because I think, the real SOP, in business terms, is standard operating procedure, and the only way that's created is by figuring out all the mistakes and narrowing it down to a system that's successful. And we're using this as a sole operating procedure, and we're slowly narrowing down, all the mistakes that we've made as career-minded men, as fathers, as husbands, as just men trying to figure out what's going on in the world, and our mistakes and our relentless pursuit to be better and do better and just leave the world a better place than what we left it is. I think ultimately, people hearing our stories about our failures and what we've done to be successful is going to be something that somebody should be able to take away something out of each one of our episodes for sure.
I love that. I can't remember exactly what the question was that put me on the spot, but I do remember talking about priming my day with gratitude and having the gratitude journal. And I know that is something that you do a lot with your program. Do you want to highlight your program a little bit?
Sure. For me, working through challenges as I grew up, dealing with anxiety, depression, dyslexia, I kind of thought that life would get easier with every goal out in front of me. I thought, if I got the best wife, I would be good. I'd be happy. I have a great wife. She's my best friend, but, still at night, and, I was still wanting for more. I was wanting for more, with work. I thought, when I made enough money for my wife to stay at home, take care of the kids, that would be when I would finally be happy. Just be able to wake up and be happy for no reason. I kept looking for goals in front of me that were going to make me happy, and they never did. And when I started doing a simple practice like a daily gratitude journal, I started finding moments of peace just out of something as simple as doing a gratitude journal. And so, doing those little practices, they started to add up for me. That and some breath work, meditation, and just learning how the mind and body work together, I started piecing together over the last 5 or 6 years all these little tools that if you stack one on top of another, eventually I was able to find some peace in my daily life, and it wasn't easy, and but they're all simple things that anybody could do, and so when you're talking about a podcast like this, that's the kind of stuff that I personally want to share with people, and I hope that they can get out of this podcast because just most people are living with some level of anxiety or depression, and they want to be happy. The goal for everybody that I've ever met is just to be happy, but we don't necessarily know what defines that. And I've figured out a few things that could point people in the right direction, and I'd love to share those tips.
That's great.
Mm.
It's great. It's almost like dangling that carrot, looking for happiness.
Yeah, it's not out there in the future. It's right here, right now, where we're sitting. We don't
Being in
don't
the present moment.
Yeah, that's the only place that true peace is ever really found. And my whole life I spent looking for it in something out into the future, outside of me. But peace is found internally. Peace is found, like the Bible says, and pretty much every religion says. Buddhism says, if you want to find God or peace, you got to go inward. But I never took that advice until I was 45 years old. I never looked inside. I didn't think there was anything in there. But there's a whole world inside that has been pretty amazing to discover.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what about you, Taylor? Let's let some people understand who you are. I've known you since you were about 8 or 9 years old. I didn't know you very well then, but we've been around each other since then. And you've had a pretty rough road in the career, starting off in your career. You started out selling AT&T door to door. And that, to me, working with you has been has had a major impact on who you are and the type of person you are, and the leader you've become, and a lot of the lessons that you teach your team. Tell me a little bit about your time at AT&T and what that has taught you that you carry forward into what you're doing today.
Yeah, so that was a brutal part of my life. It was working off 100% commission. So if I didn't make a sale, I was not eating or putting gas in the tank. It's funny. I was actually listening to something from Mark Cuban, and he used to do door to door with selling newspapers. And he said it best, and I can't quote it verbatim, but he said, door to door sales will teach you better than a university will in regards to selling, in regards to dealing with different types of people and different types of rejection. And I learned a lot about that. I mean, you basically had to figure out how to brainwash yourself into getting up, going to hunt, finding it, and then getting that sale. But my strategy was pretty indifferent. I remember my bosses saying, because honestly, I got so used to dealing with the no's. I brainwashed myself to saying no means next. So if this person wasn't wanting to help, you also had to genuinely believe into the product that you were selling. And I had to buy AT&T in order to do that, because I couldn't sell it if I wasn't using it. So I had to believe it, that I was out there saving people money, and that I was giving them the best bang for the buck. And a lot of the times it turned out to be pretty nice, because I'd pick up on different rapport strategies on how to get people to like me. Smelling the food that they're cooking, because I'm knocking all throughout the day, but a lot of the times it was when they got home and they were cooking dinner, ringing the doorbell, no one wants to talk to you. And then you're like, what are you cooking? Is that chicken? I love chicken. What did you do? Did you blacken it? And then the next thing I know, I'm eating dinner at the table and saving them $100 from Comcast. Yeah. So, having that, and then I worked my way up to train leaders with leaders. I realized the grass wasn't as green as they said it was. But the skills that it taught me, you're spot on. It's definitely something that I've carried on with every different industry and career moving forward.
So, a follow up question. So, there's a lot of misery in that job,
A
right?
lot of misery,
So,
rain,
how would
guns.
hopefully, we don't have any more guns getting pointed at
Hey,
you.
actually, before you ask, I'll tell you a story. So, I knocked on this one lady's door, and she was the Karen of the neighborhood, and she called the cops on me. And it was a no soliciting neighborhood, but you can actually file a permit to get a soliciting badge. She didn't know that. I knew that. They called the cops anyway. The next thing I know, the cop shows up, and I sold the cop AT&T Uverse.
You flipped the whole
I
script.
flipped the whole thing.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Didn't have a permit, and you made a sale.
I made the sale from the cop that was coming to kick me out. But he was like, "So what are you doing?" I was like, "Well, let me tell you about it."
So the misery that you endured, I'm of the opinion that there's a lesson to be learned out of every negative thing that happens to us. So the misery that you endured during that time, both personally and professionally, how has that molded you today? Like, what you've got a team now. You're the vice president of Jarrett Fire Protection. You got 130 employees. You guys are doing $35 million a year. Like, what lessons that you learned during that period that you're imparting to your team today?
Well, the sales aspect of it, having Aubrey and her team and on how to be closers, I knew what was worth my time, what wasn't worth my time. So I was trying to instill that into them for someone just looking for the cheapest price or someone who wants quality service. I would say adapting. Adapting was the biggest part of it. Also, knowing that days that you don't feel good, you still got to do it anyway. And that's what some of the most successful people that I've seen, the difference between a successful person and a non-successful person is they both hate doing the grind, but the successful people do it anyway.
Yeah.
So I would say that, but also knowing how to team build, because I had to train and retrain other people under my team to do well. Another part of the aspect that I have learned is Sundays. That's the first day of the week, and in that game, in that world, we had a checklist for everything we did on Sundays to prime our day or to prime our week. That would be cleaning your car for the new hire interview that was going to be riding with you that day. If you were the highest high roller of last week, that would be meal prepping, because balling on a budget, big time. And it's just a lot of different aspects. Having a break even was another thing that we did.
What's that?
So setting goals, and knowing how much you need to make, sales wise based on, your expenses that you have.
Oh, yes.
So I would take my team, and Monday mornings I would say, okay, let's line out your goals. So you spend this amount on internet, on your car, on gas, and this, and we would have a projection of, okay, this is your break even. So $500 in a week. So you need to make 5 sales to break even, because every sale was $100 commission in your pocket. So you had to line that out for anything over 5, you're making profit, but you have to get 5 or you're in the hole.
Yeah.
So having that type of budget and structure, and starting the week off goal oriented and just ready to take on the world, that is something that I still take on every single morning, for sure.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You're beautiful, dude.
I could use some more prepping my days. I don't use Sunday for that. I need to start.
Yeah.
All right. So you just had a newborn baby.
I got a newborn.
You getting any sleep?
Man, I think I woke up every hour and a half last night. Going to bed at 8, and 9:30, 11, 1:30. One of them with my wife screaming, and I was like, is that the baby? Is it the wife? Is it a ghost? I don't know. But yeah, no, we're enduring it, man. And to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, for what is something that people can take from this, having a child. I don't know if everybody's had a child that's going to be listening to this podcast, but it's one of the most. It'll test you. It'll test you. It'll humble you very quick because there's a big love-hate relationship, and you love that thing, but you hate that you don't have any sleep. This is my third, and I'm no means to be a professional, but whenever me and my wife are struggling and we know we're going through it, we pause, we breathe, we say, this is temporary, this is just a phase. Now, it's easier said than done, but something that has instilled with this child, my boy, versus the other ones where we were just kind of figuring it out, was we're going to do the next right thing. No matter what that is, no matter what we've done, even if I remember my boy wouldn't take the passy, and I was just like, dang it, I bit the passy and broke it. And I was like, that's bad. Luckily we've got 200 of them, so it's not a big deal, but let's just do the next right thing. And that will kind of carry that momentum for everything else you do.
Yeah. When the lessons at home, I know a lot of our conversations that we've had, the lessons at home sometimes carry over into work, with just having patience and understanding and reflecting on, what we could be doing better.
Absolutely.
For me, when I had my first kid, everything changed, and perspective changed.
You've got how many kids do you have? You've got quite a few.
I've got 7.
Got 7. He's got
yours, mine, and ours. I got 7.
Yeah.
And I used to care about a lot of other things before I had kids, and then all of a sudden, all you care about is feeding your kids. And then once you're able to feed them, then you start worrying about whether you're actually doing a good enough job, and and there was a lot of mistakes, and we're all just a bunch of babies raising babies.
That's it. Just kids playing dress up.
Yeah. But those times and these kids, they've given me a perspective that I think has carried over into work. Because I don't know how many times I thought I was right and I wasn't. And that made me look at everything, not just at my home life, but it carried over into work and gave me a new perspective for work as well. So I feel like being a dad, being a husband is, you don't want to make a mistake in those environments.
But you're going to.
Yeah, you're going to. Yeah, so it's inevitable. We are all going to make them, but getting comfortable making those mistakes and getting comfortable owning them and just trying to do better without beating myself up too bad has really been one of the tools that has really helped Jarrett. Just being humble enough to say, "Wow, did I screw up here? Did I mess that up?" And then being able to take ownership of it and then move forward. Been pretty vital to me personally, because I don't know that I would have had the same perspective on life and career had I not had kids before I started all this.
And that could be a great segue. Not that I'm trying to cut this short right now, but into another episode, which would, so we've got the Real SOP, sole operating procedure, but the acronym is so versatile that we can change it from every episode to episode. So one of these topics that we could have down the road is the standard of parenting. Yeah. And I think that'd be very useful and purposeful for people.
Yeah.
To listen.
I know you and I have talked about parenting quite a bit.
Big time.
Every kid is different. Every parent is different. The husband, wife, mom, dad dynamic is different. I know you guys handle things different than we do in our house. And it's all complex.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to what you were saying about the, I feel like it would be work-life balance. I've noticed that in my personal life, it's definitely affected my work life and vice versa. But I feel like the balance there is, and there's probably studies on this that I could look up and have better research for this podcast, but I feel like if you're an even keel throughout both, if you're the same person and you're not putting on a front or a mask, but you're authentic,
Authentic.
authentic.
It's week 9 in my program. I know that word.
Yeah. If you're more authentic, I mean, it's easier, you know,
Yeah.
and you can take one season into both.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of makes you a better person all around.
Yeah. You know, that going back about, I don't want to say about 12, maybe 15 years ago, I got a tattoo on my arm of my wife. It's Amy. You know, I got it in calligraphy. I drew it and then had it put on my arm. And the reason I did is, one, because I love my wife, but because we went through a time in our marriage with a little bit of struggles. And through those struggles, I realized how unauthentic I was being. I was lying to myself. I was lying to everyone because I wasn't being authentic. And I realized through all of that, you know, that I needed to be honest. So when I see this tattoo on my arm, I'm always reminded to just be honest, you know, just be honest. Don't let my mind go somewhere it doesn't need to go. Don't be something that I'm not. Just let the truth prevail. And that was a major point in my life that I owe a lot of that to my wife.
What gave you that awareness?
I'm just, you know, trying to make it in the world, you know, and you know, struggling through moments in my relationship with my wife, and maybe even business wise, and just realizing that you know, I was bullshitting myself, you know, in a lot of different ways. I just wasn't being honest with myself, you know, and to your point, and the reason why I said that is because I wasn't living the same way at home as I was at work. And I always did a really good job of, you know, I didn't cross any lines. I didn't do anything I wasn't supposed to be doing, but I just mentally, I would not take ownership of things, and I would mask things, and I would hide things. And well, it's just over here and it's not over there. And I let my mind play more than it can. And if we let our mind wander and do what it wants and act like that it's
Owning you.
yeah, like it's not, we don't have any control or this or that, or nobody else knows what's going on in our mind. That's not true. Like we have the power to control what's going on in our mind. We have the power to say no, you know, and we have the power to lead our life and push our life in a certain way that's just honest and true and authentic and truthful. And without that, you know, peace is extremely difficult to find. We have to be able to be honest with ourselves. And if we're not, I mean, it'll lead to all kinds of illnesses and just depression, anxiety. Like not being authentic with yourself is a very, very vital part of just being healthy.
Let me ask you this. When you realized that, did you see your business success kind of skyrocket?
I did. Yeah. And you know what? And I never really looked at it in terms of that, but I seen the health of the relationships that I had with everyone change. And in turn, yeah, the business side went better. But, you know, I just, growing up with a bit of a learning disability and kind of a recluse, not really a guy that, you know, got out in social environments very much. You know, I didn't have a lot of people skills. I didn't have a lot of
The social.
the social aspect of just how to navigate people. So I had to learn it as an adult. And, you know, I just made a lot of mistakes, you know, and the anxiety would grow and, you know, just kind of be miserable and then maybe turn to alcohol or drugs and kind of mask some of it, trying to be a tough guy because guys ain't supposed to feel any of that stuff. So
The John Wayne syndrome.
yeah.
Don't go to the doctor. Don't do checkups. We're just rub some dirt in it and keep going.
Yeah, that's what I did for a very long time. Just act tough.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was able to play the tough guy for a long time, but eventually, you know, I just couldn't lie to myself anymore. And then I started to break down, become a little vulnerable. And when I was able to identify some of those weaknesses and grow from it, it's like, oh, well, shit, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, it was scary at first, but, then life starts to get better because I was able to own some of my mistakes and grow. Then, the relationships started to get better. My marriage, my kids, my brothers, my family, different things. Life starts to change a little bit for sure with business. Business is about relationships.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. There's a lot of different ways I can go over here.
yeah, I hear you.
I'm just honored to be on this though with you. I really am.
I am too. Yeah, I'm a big Taylor Road fan.
I'm a big Mike Wood fan. I love that Wood family, man. You got some good genes and some good kids.
Man, we go hard. We do. I do have a beautiful family, but so do you.
Blessings over stressings.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, let me ask you a couple more questions here.
Okay.
All right. We worked side by side for 6 years. What's the biggest way you think you've grown professionally over that time?
The biggest way that I've grown professionally since being here, Jarrett.
Yeah.
To be honest, man, y'all gave me the shot. Yeah, I was in. So after when I did the door-to-door sales, I actually went into my degree, which is exercise physiology. I worked for TriStar, and that was a good time. I then went to logistics, and I was a freight broker, and I slung freight across the country. But during that time, I was facing some real personal struggles where I wanted to be in my life. And I knew that there was some place that would just allow me to, if someone gave me the shot, I wanted to give back tenfold. And that one party that you were at, somehow the universe was aligned and you said, man, you're doing all that as a freight broker. You should come over to Jarrett. And I did. And that wasn't where I got the keys. I had to go through a year of learning the industry, learning where I could fulfill the systems that were needed. And to be honest, once that did happen and you all gave me the keys to the service department and had that trust, that was all I needed. I wanted to give back to y'all in the best way possible. And that was building up another set of leaders underneath me, building systems to automate, let the business work on itself, and then just try to build up the people and the clientele that we wanted to work for. And by doing that, I mean, it's came back to me in tenfold, for sure. For sure. A lot of great people around here.
Yeah, you definitely took it and ran. We did turn the keys over to you. It's been pretty cool.
I just wanted the shot. It was almost like I manifested it when I was in the logistics world, because I had a daughter when I was pretty young, 21, and ever since that happened, I have been in self-development. I've been in psychology. I wanted to be, have that Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality, be the best version of myself, because it's no longer about me selfishly, Taylor Road. It's about my family and the people that I can help. And you've said it best. High tide raises all boats. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build, because there's nothing better than teaching somebody something, seeing them grow, and then them just flourishing, getting married, buying a house, having kids. And this has truly been the best place to work, and seeing that all because y'all did trust me in doing it. And I feel like that I brought a different type of approach to the industry, because, this is a very hard sprinkler, man. It's the sprinkler game. And technology was a little outdated. And so I just kind of immersed myself on trying to, with the focal point of how can I make everybody's lives easier around me?
Yeah. Use your skill set and combine that with what you got going on, because you had a lot of sprinkler folks around you at some point.
Oh yeah, and they're a lot older than me. Yeah. I mean, and they knew their stuff, and I did not know their technical stuff. So being the boss of someone who could be my dad's age, that was another obstacle to battle.
Yeah.
But earning the respect and the trust by giving as much as I can to be it makes their lives easier so they can get home to their wives and kids. It's truly been an inspirational journey for me.
You've definitely made Jason Jarrett proud. Like, he's given us all this opportunity here at Jarrett to be able to grow like this, and it's been a really fun ride with Jarrett Fire Protection for sure, and seeing you and a lot of other people grow and thrive. And, you and Chad getting named president and vice president of Jarrett Fire Protection, and now it's kind of breaking off from Jarrett Companies right now, but it's still. It's like my eighth child.
Yeah.
Going off to college now,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool. And I'm really happy for you guys and all the opportunities that you guys have now and everything you guys have done. It's been pretty cool.
Well, and that's why I think that it's awesome that we get to do this, and have that ability to still not get divorced yet, but still give something that they will hear. Some of these people will hear, because you've done great in building the leadership meetings that we have and building the relationships around. But it's really cool seeing other people grow underneath me, and having that same vision that you and Jason Jarrett have given us, and it's just really taking care of everybody around you.
Yeah, you take care of people. Everybody all of a sudden has the same goals aligned, and you got 20 owners running around.
That's
instead of one.
Yep.
The company's going to take off and flourish. But most owners don't take the same approach that Jason Jarrett did. And,
Agreed.
Somebody who gives back as much to the employees, that really invests their heart and soul the way that you and some others have. It's just kind of rare.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see and be a part of. Without that, just that one piece,
Mm-hmm.
we're not sitting here talking about
we're not.
this cool stuff.
We're living a paycheck to paycheck kind of thing, just like the corporate structure that I got out of.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from you and Jason Jarrett, and you're all the best leaders I've ever seen. So thank you for everything that y'all have done. Honestly,
that's kind of you to say. But I'm in the same boat, being grateful for you, grateful for Jason. It's kind of turning into a love fest for Jarrett, but it's
how could it not?
How could it not? Because without any of this, all right, as a dad and a VP, you're juggling a lot. What's a daily habit that helps you keep it all together?
What's the daily habit to keep it all together?
Yeah, what's a daily habit that keeps you together? And I kind of know that some of your prepping and how you handle your days, but I think it'd be pretty cool for everybody else to kind of know how I know you talked about prepping on Sundays, but how do you prep for your day?
So something I picked up on to kind of brainwash myself is priming my day. I start up, I get up every time. I don't hit snooze, and I don't. Doesn't help on the weekends when I wake up at 6, but I'm getting up at 4:15 every morning, Monday through Friday, and I have a daily habit that I do. I will go downstairs, I will cook some eggs, I will outcook anybody in an omelet because I've mastered it. But I get into meditation and prayer, and then I stretch, and then I shower and I go on with my thing. Now I can't say that I've been upholding that since the new kid. If I'm being completely honest, getting that extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I may have hit snooze in the past 5 weeks since he's been born. But having that daily habit, you fall to this. I can't remember who said it, but you don't fall to the. We're gonna have to cut this out, but to the level of standards, you fall to the level of your habits, or something along those lines. Priming my day, brainwashing my day, not checking your phone the first 30, 45 minutes has been big for me because of the science behind all of that. But yeah, starting with that daily gratitude journal that you teach a lot. I've been doing that for years, and the science behind that is amazing. You know, when you're gratitude and when you're grateful, your cortisol levels drop. And I could be worrying about every single thing that I know that I have to do today, but if I can just delay that a little bit and kind of prime my day, it's like the oxygen mask that falls in the airplane. You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of everybody else. So priming my day would be my answer to that, but also doing the next right thing. Not living. I don't know if you've seen Ted Lasso, but
I love Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso, man, he's be a goldfish. Just be a goldfish. They're the happiest animal in the world because every 10 minutes they forget what happens. They live it on again, and you just be a goldfish.
Yeah. It's short-term memory.
That's it.
You're not worried about nothing.
That's it. So that's what I would say. I'd say my morning habits for sure.
Yeah, that's a big deal. You know, you talked about the cortisol levels going down, and most people don't know this, but when you're grateful and you're having positive, compassionate, loving thoughts, you stop producing cortisol, but you start producing oxytocin.
Right.
And oxytocin will put you in a joyful state of mind that's drug induced.
Yep.
Just the same way anxiety and depression can be induced by cortisol, oxytocin will put you in a state of joy.
Yep. It's hard to be stressed when you're grateful.
Yeah.
And there's so many things you can be grateful about, even the little things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the Buddhists have a practice of 2,000 things, and they basically say you could come up with 2,000 things to be joyful at any one moment. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to pay attention to them and you want to recognize them. But when you do, you are literally shifting yourself out of cortisol and putting yourself into oxytocin. Your state of mind and your physical being is being altered by the content of your thoughts, and we are in control of them.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we unconsciously let our thoughts take control of us. But we don't have to. And that's a beautiful way to start your day.
Yeah. Because once you do that and someone cuts you off on the road, you're not as mad as you normally would if you hit the snooze button, didn't do anything, you didn't eat, and you're just reactive. You know, you want to be more proactiveness than the reactiveness that I'd say the majority of people are.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's what I teach in the first week of the program. I know you've mentioned it a couple of times now, but it's one of the most powerful things in my program, and it's week one. It's because it's just such a simple thing. If you did nothing but do a gratitude journal every day in the morning, over a month or two of time, it won't just be a practice to where you're writing down what you're grateful for. You're actually programming your subconscious mind to think positive, compassionate thoughts randomly instead of the random negative thoughts that we have. So a month or two in, all of a sudden you're just going through your days and you're like, oh wow, I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my kids. They're all healthy, or whatever it is, random things that just start to come through, and you don't know where they came from because they didn't used to show up like that. Nothing's changed in your life except for the way that you've taken control of your thoughts.
Correct.
Yes. It's pretty powerful.
And what it can do to everybody around you.
Hell yeah. It's contagious.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
Big time.
We've all been around somebody who's super negative and we leave the room and we feel horrible.
Those neg bombs, man, they're a real thing. Yep.
Just in just the same way, if we were around somebody super positive and happy, you leave that room feeling uplifted and ready to go.
Yep. And that's the light that I want to be every single day. I want to help people. I want to, even if it's nonverbal, I want people to leave the room feeling a little more uppity.
Yeah.
Than drained.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When I first started realizing that just being within 12 feet of somebody, you pick up on their energy. I never realized that was possible. I didn't know. I didn't realize that was happening, but it's literally happening to everyone, whether you think you feel it or not. But once we get into a state where we're living uh, in a positive, drug-induced state where you're feeling happy all the time, where your body feels happy, where you're having positive emotions, as the normal state. And then when you join space with somebody, you're sharing space with somebody, and they're feeling horrible, you'll start to notice that, wait a minute, now I feel something funky in my stomach, or I feel something funky in my chest, and it's not you. You're literally feeling the energy of the person that you're close to now, and that becomes a powerful. That was an extremely powerful part of my life when I started to realize that energy dynamic, that we literally passing positive and negative energy back and forth, and it's kind of scary sometimes because you might feel more than you want to, but
Well, it's the fight or flight, right? As well,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, because it'll put you into the fight or flight when you're feeling something that's not you. But in the past, you've been feeling the same thing. You just didn't know it. You didn't know that somebody else was triggering you to feel to feel bad.
And a lot of people do that because they don't really know, but also misery loves company.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, everybody in the room's feeling the same way. They don't know any different.
Right.
But if you practice a gratitude journal and you manually shift yourself out of what I would say the fear bucket, put yourself into the love bucket, and you constantly get yourself into that love bucket to where that becomes your predominant state. Now, all of a sudden, when you go around somebody who's in a negative state of mind, you'll feel it. And it's pretty cool because, you're starting to realize what the energy that's moving around you, and it's pretty neat. But then it's also kind of sad too, because you realize how many people are in a negative state of mind, and it's a lot. Yeah,
It only takes one light to light up a room.
that's right.
And that's why all the sales teams that we manage, we have to teach them the gratitude, because if they're going to go in and they meet some stranger they've never seen before and they're giving off that negative energy, they're shutting that door.
Yeah. Haley comes in with that high energy.
Man, she does.
Kicks open the door.
That's it. I'm here.
That's right. Yeah, it's pretty impressive to watch some of them work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great, man. And they genuinely care. They genuinely want to be better, and they're doing it all around. I mean, they're enhancing their lives all the way around, not just for the sales, but they're helping people.
Yeah.
And they realize it. It's not just like a car salesman type of mentality. It's like, I genuinely want to solve this problem for this person because I believe that our team will take care of this company or property.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said early on, right? You got to believe in it to sell it.
You got to believe it.
Yeah.
Because people buy off emotion, not so much off of logic.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do.
Yeah. My wife does.
I think my wife does too.
Yeah. That's great. Okay.
All right. So how do we wrap this thing up?
Well, I would say that, every single episode will come up with different topics. And, even though we're in this position for, in our business, we're still a student of life, and we want to live it and then teach it and then teach it to you. Every episode we can come up with a different type of topic for what SOP means, maybe even have a guest. We'll send you our newsletter for any one-on-ones or some courses. Mention your course, and then we take it from there.
Yeah, I'd love for this the Real SOP to be a behind the scenes look at a lot of our failures and just be as open and real with our lives as we can.
Absolutely.
And, to help people see. One of the cool things that's happened over the last 2 years is, we sold Jarrett Fire Protection, and then we got to meet all these wonderful people all around the United States, Philadelphia and California, and even Bristol, Tennessee. Like we've got to see behind the scenes on how other people run their business, and that's been really cool because as you growing a business and you're building it, you don't know how everybody else does it. You
Right.
kind of see it from afar, but when you get to, hey, now we're all on the same team. How do you do it? This is how we do it. And we've learned so much in this short period of time by how other people do it. And we've shared a lot of the things that we do. And we want to be able to share all this stuff with everybody, all of our mistakes, all of our successes. But, at the end of the day, people don't really learn anything from success. We learn from our failures. And I want to share as many as I can.
Absolutely. They say there's no, there's winning but then there's no losing. It's just learning.
Yes.
And I agree with you. The collaboration that we've had with all these other companies and everything we do day to day, I think can help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Tenfold.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah, maybe somebody can learn from the mistakes we've made and not have to make them themselves.
Yeah, give them a little shortcut. If someone can learn one thing from it, I've gotten all I need out of this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Hope everybody tunes in.
See you next week. At the end of the day, system needs soul and leaders need stillness. Ownership starts with you. Show up for your people the way you first show up for yourself. That's the real SOP. We'll see you next time.